Have you ever bought something thinking it looked super healthy, it's going to be really good for you, only to find out it really wasn't so much? Yeah, so that is actually called health washing, and it's everywhere. This is something that you can't escape, unfortunately. It's usually your things that are touted as really healthy. Something you think you're doing something great for your body, turns out not so much. Granola bars, great example. Oh, I'm eating a granola bar. It's so healthy for me. It says it has all this healthy fiber for me, and you flip it around to read it has more sugar in it than a candy bar. That's what I'm talking about. Kale chips. Oh my gosh, these are so great. I'm eating kale. It's good for me, only to find out it's been fried in seed oil. This is health washing. When companies, brands, and even larger corporations want you to think you're getting something you're really not, it is a way to kind of trick you, if you will, unfortunately. So what is health washing? This is specifically when companies or food or products want to seem healthier than they really are, using clever marketing, and that's really all it is, to market something to you so that you will buy whatever it is they're selling. It's about perception, not reality. And this is why we're going to talk about this in a little more detail so that you don't get duped anymore. And when you go looking for healthy foods, you're going to actually find healthy foods. Because the problem is, you see on the packaging, or maybe even something on a large display that shows you visually things of like farms with tons of food growing, something in a basket of vegetables and fruits. And then on the package, it has more ingredients that you can't pronounce if you tried, and things you've never recognized, not from nature. This is the problem. Again, it's all about perception and not reality. So let's talk about the buzzwords that they use to kind of trick you or lure you into these products that are healthy. And I'm really big on this because when I talk about foods, I talk about their actual, I have the true meaning of those words when I use those buzzwords. But most corporations and most companies don't, unfortunately. So you'll see all natural. Okay, this all natural doesn't really mean much of anything. MSG actually is natural from the ground, so is cyanide and strychnine. These are things that you really don't want to consume. That's all natural, right? So what does all natural mean? Nothing. But in your mind, what does that do? Pulls up the picture of, ooh, natural, that must be good for me. That's the problem. So even organic, so you know I'm really big on organic, everything, because now we've gotten away from pesticides, herbicides. That's really important, and I really like that. Here's the thing. You can have organic junk food because organic sugar is still sugar and not good for you. Organic seed oils are still seed oils and not healthy for your heart or your body. So you really want to think about the ingredients, what's actually in there. Are these things that are really truly good for me? Just because it's organic, does that mean it's good for me? An organic donut, yeah, no pesticides, no herbicides. Way better option for sure than the natural, the unnatural GMO pesticide toxic ridden ones. However, still going to have a lot of things in there that's not good and healthy for your body. So this is why we're having this conversation, so that you don't get duped and you know what you're looking for. Here's another buzzword, low fat. Okay, first of all, not all fat is bad for you. We've learned this. Trans fat's not good. Okay, absolutely. But just because something's low fat often means they'll add other starches, carbs, and even sugar in there. Doesn't necessarily mean it's good for you. Oftentimes, it actually means they substituted out some sort of chemical, and that's even worse for you. So As I usually tell people, is all fat is not bad for you. The brain and body and joints need some fat. You have to have some fat, but you need the good natural fats from nature, not the ones that are chemically made or substituted, right? Gluten-free. So this is important because people who have celiac disease need gluten-free. Bottom line, absolutely. A lot of people are noticing they don't have celiac disease, but they do so much better without the gluten. Gluten's a high inflammatory food. This is why I don't promote it. We have enough inflammation in our bodies. We don't need to add to that. So people think gluten-free is better for me. What did they substitute it with? Because not all gluten-free ingredients are good for you. Corn is huge. They substitute corn often for gluten. And your bread made of corn instead of gluten still has a high inflammatory ingredient in it, hard to digest, and not that great for you. And these things still can be loaded with sugar and seed oils and all sorts of trans fats and things that aren't good for you. Just because it says gluten-free doesn't mean healthy. Now you're starting to see what we're talking about with this health washing and these buzzwords, right? Here's another buzzword that bothers me because I use it appropriately, but most people do not. Superfood. Okay, it is a little vague, but there is the term actual superfoods generally mean foods from the rainforest that are very nutrient dense. So decades ago, that became a thing when we started discovering foods from the, superfoods from the rainforest that are way better for you, nutrient-wise, vitamin-wise, mineral-wise. The way the term superfoods is being used now, no. They will call anything a superfood when it really isn't. I hear blueberries all the time, oh, that's a superfood. It's a domestic superfood, but most actual superfoods are ones that have this many vitamins, nutrients, amino acids, minerals, things your body needs rather than here. And also, because it doesn't have any specific definition in branding and in marketing, they'll call anything a superfood, unfortunately. So what about plant-based or vegan? Okay, this is helpful if you're looking to have a low acidic profile, because in general, if you eat plant-based or vegan, you don't have the acidity of the meat. True, but what's it being substituted with? Because a lot of plant-based meats are fake and made in a lab. They're actually trying to ban that here in America, and I really hope they do, because a lot of other European countries have already banned it, but we have not yet. It's a work in progress. So just because it says a vegan or plant-based meat doesn't mean it's a better option for you. What would be? So instead of using like what we have on our menu, our pulled pork in our cafe is not some wheat-based or soy-based meat or meat in a lab. We actually use jackfruit, which is an actual fruit. This is better option. These are better options, but that's not typically what happens on branding. It can say vegan or plant-based and be highly processed. Did you know Skittles are vegan and plant-based? They're not good for you, and you know that. So that is my point, right? So I don't typically do this, but I'm gonna do it here. I'm gonna name names because there are a handful of big grocery stores that in general, people feel like I go to these grocery stores and I am getting all healthy foods. They're better options for me. Not always. And I'm gonna name names. Sorry, Sprouts, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods. Very often people think, they make the assumption everything in there is organic. It's not. In fact, at Sprouts and Trader Joe's, you have to actually be very intentional to even find the organic section and find something that's organic. And again, read your ingredients. Flip it around, see what it says on the back. So that's the important part of that. There's a lot of really misleading products on their shelves. So Sprouts is the image of, I'm at a farmer's market. And yeah, they do have some good produce there, but most of it is conventionally farmed, and that means pesticides and herbicides. But people just in the back of their mind, they're connecting, but if I get it from here, it's healthier. Still has pesticides and herbicides in it. And they have a lot of ultra processed snacks. Trader Joe's, same thing. They have more exotic foods that, ooh, I haven't heard of this. This is great. Maybe not organic and still laden with pesticides and herbicides. And again, tons of ultra processed foods and chips and granola bars and their trail mixes filled with sugar. So you really have to look. Whole Foods is known for having organic and better options. Yes. Also ultra processed foods that you really have a lot of ingredients. So some of the ingredient list is like this, right? This is health washing. You go to Whole Foods thinking, I'm eating healthy. You pay more, but some of those things are not healthy. A lot of chemicals, preservatives, food dyes, that's the problem. But it's put in a nice, pretty craft brown package with a leaf on it. You think it's good for you. That's marketing, unfortunately. So you really, there is a balance. You have to look at that. What is it that you're actually after, and are you getting it from the place that you're getting? So it's branding versus ingredients. What matters? The ingredients. That is the important part. So let's talk about health washing as an even bigger problem, and that's greenwashing, which many of you have heard of. Greenwashing is actually companies that pretend to be environmentally friendly, and they're really not. And they use lies. That's the biggest thing. Something may be bottled as eco-friendly. Well, what does eco-friendly mean, and how do you define that? Just like all natural. Your all natural potato chips. Sure, potatoes are from the earth. Not necessarily good for you when it's all the saturated and trans fats. You'll even see things that'll say sustainable, like clothing. This is greenwashing. A clothing that says sustainably made, eco-friendly fashion. I see this a lot with clothing made from recycled plastic. I love that they recycled it, but do you know what happens in the process of taking plastic, breaking it down, making it into fiber? It's horribly toxic, laden with chemicals you would never want to put on your body. Then when you heat up, it soaks into your skin. Now you got more toxins. That's a really big one. Compostable cups that only break down if you take it to a special facility. Cups do break down if they're compostable. The thing that people don't know is you have to set them out in the sun and they'll just melt and go away. But people don't do that, and they put them in the recycling bin, and they don't recycle them. They throw them away at the recycling center because they don't have that special equipment to do it. Another way to do it is people who say, oh, recyclable container. It's a plastic bottle, but it happens to be a plastic bottle like a number 7 that most recycling facilities don't actually recycle. And you don't know that. You take it to your recycling facility thinking you've done something good, but it just ended up in the landfill again. This is what happens. This is greenwashing. So really, truly, greenwashing, health washing, it's all about educating yourself. Really look at the basics. Go back to basics. If you want something that is truly healthy and truly good for the environment, look at it. Does it make logical sense? Because most companies, those big brands and corporations, are really playing to your emotions when they do this greenwashing and health washing. That's the problem. We want to feel good about our purchases. We do. And we want to make it feel like we're doing something better for the earth, better for our families. But read the ingredients. So what are the better options? You want to think about, for health washing, go back to Whole Foods. I mean ingredients, not the store. Look at the vegetables, the fruits, the whole grains, the nuts, the seeds, the beans. Start with that. Those are healthier. Get them organic. Yeah, because certified organic is perfect. So this is what we're looking for, because oftentimes if you go to get something that says it's healthier financially or sustainable, financially you're going to pay 2 to 3 times more. You want to know you're getting the right bang for your buck, and that means read the ingredients, flip it around, look at labels, read labels on your clothing, what's in there. find out, is plastic recycled bottle clothing better for me? Maybe you don't know about a certain thing, an ingredient like sunflower seed oil. Is that good for me or not? Research it, educate yourself. This is what will help, because you don't want to be caught up in someone else's idea of forcing you to buy something you think is good for you when it really isn't. If it's something super processed, the more it has to go through to get to a certain state, the less nutrients it's going to have for your body. That's the problem. Also, when you are reading labels, you want to look at serving size. So those granola bars may have one bar or small bar. Look it over and it'll say serving size 2. That's just so they can make it look like it's less sugar per serving, and it's not. You want to look for hidden places that sugar hides under different names, because sugar has a lot of names, and you want to educate yourself on inverse tastes and brown rice syrup, and these are all still sugar, and that's not what you're looking for. Count the ingredients. Is it a long list or a short one? Don't get duped by that. Look for something that has an actual sustainable stamp that you know, or some labeling corporation like USDA, organic, fair trade, something that has a certified label. That'll actually help you a little bit. And be really leery if something just says eco-friendly or natural. Those are the worst. This is something that you'll find anywhere, but companies will, we know with greenwashing what has happened, and how companies will say, oh, look at our practices, we have this in a recyclable plastic bottle, and we are saving hundreds of millions of bottles from the landfill. And then when you really find out is this company is actually dumping tons of their waste into our oceanways and our waterways, right? Health washing is the same thing. You want to really know, what are they actually selling you? Just because it has a pretty green leaf or a tree on the package doesn't mean it's actually good for you. You want to get back to the basics. Get back to whole foods. That's what keeps you healthy, right? And think about bulk cooking instead of packaging things. But if you need packaging for convenience sake, as we do, look at, can you truly recycle this? Is it cardboard, and can it really go into your backyard in the compost bin and be recycled? And what are the ingredients in there? Shorter's better. Watch out for sugar. This is what I'm telling you. It can be really sneaky. Don't buy into it. Don't get duped by it. Educate yourself. Learn how to truly provide healthy and sustainable things for yourself and your family. Because like I always say, natural healing is totally doable.